Water is a vital natural resource that connects us all: ecosystems, communities, every landscape, and every living thing. Here on the wet coast of BC, it's easy to take water for granted, yet it faces many challenges, both locally and globally. In 2009, the Regional District of Nanaimo established the Drinking Water and Watershed Protection Program, or DWWP, to support this precious shared resource through science and monitoring, education and outreach, and policy and planning. Water moves through the environment in a cycle nearly as old as the Earth itself. Most water on our planet exists as salt water in the oceans. Only 3% of the world's water is fresh water, and most of that is locked away, frozen in glaciers and in ice at the poles. Less than 1% of all water on planet Earth is accessible fresh water stored in watersheds. What do you think a watershed is?
I think a watershed is a shed, but with water stored in it.
A watershed is an area of land which is kind of bowl-shaped, if that makes sense.
I think of it as like a giant tent, and the water comes down and sheds off the sides.
An area of land that collects water and sort of funnels it down to a body of water like the ocean or...
A watershed describes how a natural area of land collects water that falls from the atmosphere over a broad area and transports it to the ocean through a well-defined waterway such as a river. Watersheds are divided from one another by topography, hilltops or mountain ranges. Basically, wherever water falls as rain or snow, it travels across the land surface from high elevations to lower elevations. When it's cold enough, precipitation up in the mountains can accumulate as snow and then melt to run off into small creeks and streams called tributaries. Tributaries then carry the snowmelt and rainwater from the upper watershed to larger rivers that then carry the fresh water out to the ocean. The vegetated area that runs along the bank of a tributary or river is called a riparian area, and it's very important. Riparian ecosystems are transition areas between water and the land, and they support many diverse plants and animals. The trees and plants in the riparian ecosystem shade the water from the hot sun, keeping the water nice and cool for fish, insects, and animals that live in the water. The roots of plants and trees hold the soil, rocks, and dirt on the stream bank in place, preventing it from falling loose and clouding the water. Especially when it's sunny, water evaporates from the surface of the land and ocean and is carried up into the atmosphere, where it condenses into clouds and precipitates again as fresh rain, hail, or snow somewhere else on Earth. But not all fresh water stays at the Earth's surface. Some water seeps into the crevices and pores of the Earth, where it is stored as groundwater in aquifers. The Regional District of Nanaimo is home to over 155,000 people and is made up of 7 water regions defined by their watersheds and sub-watersheds. No matter where you are in the region, you're in a watershed. Understanding how healthy watersheds work to capture, filter, and store fresh water is vital to learning to care for our most precious resource, because every drop counts. Learn more about drinking water and watershed protection by visiting dwwp.ca.